8. The purpose of this bill, very simply stated, is to promote energy savings for all Americans by increasing use of public transportation throughout this country. A fact that has been a need, let us say, that has been driven home dramatically by $4 a gallon oil and gasoline prices since Memorial Day. And I thank the Speaker and the Majority Leader for making time for us to bring this bill to the House floor. Basic law of economics is that the price of gas is a two-part equation, supply and demand. Demand is a critical factor in the cost of oil, and decreasing demand is one of the most immediate ways we can attack the high cost of gasoline prices. And our fellow citizens understand this. They are making choices. They have been making choices for several years. Over the last 3 years in particular, there has been a growth of 1 million new riders a day on public transportation systems across America. For 375 million new transit trips nationwide last year, a total of 10.3 billion transit trips throughout the country. There was a time when New York City accounted for 60% of all transit trips in the United States, but no longer. In the last 3 years, New York's share of transit ridership nationwide has slipped to 38%. Not because New Yorkers are riding transit less, they're riding more. But more Americans have found their way to public transportation, and increasingly in droves since the skyrocketing price of gasoline. Transit systems throughout the United States have found that every new transit project, every new light rail project has more than tripled its original projections of ridership nationwide. Innovative cities like Denver, under then Mayor Wellington Webb, said, ride our transit system free in the center city. Keep your pollution out of the center city. Ride the transit system free, and it has been an enormous boost and benefit to the city of Denver. I can and I will cite some very specific ridership improvements in my own state. In Minneapolis, the Hiawatha Light Rail, 20 years in the waiting, finally was constructed, ridership opened, and within 9 months later, 10 months ahead of schedule, they achieved their 10 millionth rider. Dramatic improvements. Seattle, Dallas-Fort Worth, San Francisco all have similar increases in transit ridership. The Charlotte area transit system recently opened a new light rail line. They've increased ridership 34% from February of last year to February of this year. Caltrain, the commuter rail line that serves San Francisco and Santa Clara Valley, set a record for average weekday ridership in February of this year with a 9.3% increase over last year. The South Florida Regional Transportation Authority, my good friend, the ranking member, gentleman from Florida, Mr. Micah knows well, posted a rise of more than 20% ridership from Miami, Fort Lauderdale, West Palm Beach in March and April of this year as compared to last year. Americans are making the choice. They've decided. We need to help them with that choice. And the bill before us will make a huge step in that direction. This legislation provides substantial support for states and public transportation agencies, increasing incentives for commuters to make their choice to ride transit. $1.7 billion, 2 years for transit agencies that are reducing transit fares or expanding services to meet the needs of growing transit commuters. We increase the federal share for clean fuel and alternative fuel transit, bus, ferry, and locomotive related equipment or facilities, helping transit agencies become more fuel efficient. In the 2 years of this legislation, the increased federal share will go from 90% to 100% of the net capital cost of the project. We also provide authority to extend the Federal Transit Pass Benefit Program that has operated over the last few years on a pilot basis in the National Capital Area and insular areas of the country. After evaluating the Transit Pass program, the U.S. Department of Transportation recommended that it be expanded nationwide. We do that in this legislation.